pivot to the next topic here. We got some Cavs stuff coming up here. We're going to talk Emoni Bates in a sec. But first, let's start with Jarrett Allen. There has been some rumors after the Cavs free agent signings. Or not rumors, but at least reports out there that the Cavs seem to be more open to at least having the discussion on whether or not to trade Jarrett Allen if the right offer comes along. They're not saying they're shipping him. He's not in the trading block, but at least now they're open to listening if teams want to make a move for number 31. So before we bring on Evan Damerow from Locked On Cavs to talk Emoni Bates, do you guys think Jarrett Allen will be on this Cavaliers roster on opening night in either October or November, whenever the Cavs officially start the upcoming season?
Yes, he will be. You know what? Please excuse my sweat, y'all. I'm not. It is what it is. This is why you shouldn't wear gray. It's hot in here.
Yeah, it is kind of hot.
So
Studio lights are hot. People don't realize studio
it's kind of hot. I was dehydrated below my lower body, so I had to wear some shorts.
Dark colors from now on. But anyways, just deal. Don't focus on me. Don't be looking down here. That's y'all problem. Y'all looking at the wrong things. Focus here. I've come to.
Steve is so good with those little camera movements.
Hey, that was subliminal too. Look at this slow crawl in.
All right, this is serious. Let's be serious here. Steve, stop playing. All right, listen. So I was against the Jarrett.
Ellen DeGeneres.
I can't get it out.
And her show off.
Steve, take the camera back. Back it up, please. All right, thank you. All right. Earl, get it together. We got to be professional here. All right, so I was against Jarrett Allen because of the playoff thing, and I was all for, they needed to trade him and whatnot. But to be fair, I started to think back on how the season went, and when Evan Mobley was at the 5, if you trade Jarrett Allen, essentially you're saying Evan Mobley go to the 5. And I'm not sure that I'm ready to say that he's ready to play the 5 yet. Why was he a defensive player of the year? Well, partially because he had Jarrett Allen in the middle. He was coming backside, blocking shots and doing things like that. He's a great defender. I don't know on a night in and night out basis he is a 5. So with that being said, I think that the Cavs need to be more strategic. I'm not saying you need to trade Jarrett Allen at all. What I'm saying is you need to get a center in there that can shoot, or a power forward that can shoot, where you can rotate him out, use him sparingly, because he is still effective defensively, and you do harp on being one of the best defensive teams. So I wouldn't necessarily say get rid of him. I just would say you need to find a way to get another center in there that can provide you some offense, and you have to switch them out in and out their rotation, and that's why, and be able to go against teams in the playoffs.
So I talked about this yesterday when I hosted. I actually talked about this very topic. To answer the question straight up, yes, I think he will be on the roster. But I am somebody that believes that the Cavs should actually explore trading Jarrett Allen. And here's why. When you look at what the Cavs did in free agency, right? You added shooters, you added a backup big man, you added a backup point guard. And to me, the foundation of this team is Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell. And you want to be able to build out your core around your foundation. And to me, that looks like that finding pieces and parts that complement your foundation. You did that when you got Max Strus. You did that when you got George Niang. You did that when you got Ty Jerome. And then you get Damian Jones to be a backup. So let's just hypothetically say we can put this in a pyramid, right? And put it in different tiers. Jarrett Allen is not a bad basketball player. Jarrett Allen brings a lot of good things with him. Let's say he's a tier 2 center.
He's a glue guy.
Okay, but if I can trade my tier 2 center and I get a tier 3 or tier 4 center that better complements my foundation, then I owe it to my foundation to do so, right? If that makes any sense to anybody up here. I just think that with the pieces that you've already added and you already know what your foundation pieces is, every move that you make needs to be about building around that foundation. And if you can find somebody that can better complement Evan Mobley when he does finally move to the 5, then I think you do so. And if you can find somebody that's silly enough to give you an up-and-coming wing player, and let's say a tier 3 wing and a tier 3 or a tier 4 center that can shoot a little bit for Jarrett Allen, then you do it because he's not part of your long-term foundation to me.
I could go both ways on this situation, but I look at it like this. When you definitely have shooters now, what can you do? If the Cavs like their defense that they really hang their hat on, they were the number one defensive team in the regular season. They seem to like that. They seem to think that that's what their identity is. Jarrett Allen is a big part of that identity. One of the things that you can do is you don't necessarily have to get rid of Jarrett Allen in order to do some things to make your spacing better. If you decided to keep Jarrett Allen and say we're just not going to start you, okay. Jarrett Allen's come off the bench in his career before, and you still have a shot blocker, Evan Mobley, that can play 5, and a shot blocker in what you're talking about with Jarrett Allen coming off the bench. And Tyvis says you don't know if Mobley's ready to play the 5 position. Everything is about small ball now anyway. Like, everybody is playing small except for, like, Joker and the Denver Nuggets and the Philadelphia 76ers is playing kind of big. But most teams is going small anyway. So, if you look at it from a perspective, you can find somebody else to throw in there, the spacing is much better now. Now, what you can do in playoff series, you can play different rotations in different small lineups. I could put Strus, I could put Niang out there, I could put Evan Mobley at the 5. If I want to go to all defensive lineup, and we need to stop somebody, I could play the lineup with Okoro, Jarrett Allen, and Mobley out there. And if you start Mobley at the 5, you're going to give him a lot more space to work around in the paint because you don't got to do just standing out there. Now you got Mobley in the box, in the high pick and roll. Now, guess what? He get the ball, he can kick it out. He got shooters in the corners now. Now he got the ability to be able to maximize his growth as an offensive player. Now, if you telling me you could go get you somebody that's going to be a stretch 4 or another 3, that's going to be elite, and we can get them for what we can get them for with Jarrett Allen and maybe a couple other moves here or there, I'm all for it. I'm aggressive as hell. I'm all for that.
But that y'all 2 moves don't concern y'all from a rebounding aspect. Like if you trade him for a wing or somebody like that, y'all don't.
It's a valid point, Ty.
Y'all don't think that because it's not like Evan Mobley is just snatching 20 boards.
No.
And it's not like he's the biggest person in the world. So are y'all okay with giving up rebounding?
Not necessarily.
But that's what you're doing.
I think for me, any trade scenario will bring a big man back that's of lesser value, right? Mm-hmm. But that's a better fit to whatever that can play off of Evan Mobley.
It's not the thing is it's not Jarrett Allen is bad. Okay, we all agree on that. That's not what it is. The problem is that they got punked. That's what happened. Because Mitch Robinson is not great, but he was a dog in the paint. He was crabbing. He was effective in blocking shots and grabbing boards.
Let's ask Evan.
If we can get Jarrett Allen to just do that in the playoffs, we singing a different tune.
I think we got Evan here. Let's get him in.
Well, we got Evan, and we got Evan on today to talk a little Monty Bates. But Evan, we're having this discussion. We might as well. Mm-hmm. You're a Cavaliers insider. You cover the team for Locked On Cavs. This is Evan Damerow of Locked On Cavs joining us now. Evan, real quick, and Tyvis, do you want to ask him the question you were about to ask, and then we'll get into the Imani Bates stuff? But we have the Cavs reporter. We might as well ask him and bring him in on the conversation.
Oh, he didn't hear it? Do you think they want to get rid of Jarrett Allen for wings and people that shoot threes and stuff like that? Would you be okay with doing that, knowing that Evan Mobley will be at the 5 and you giving up that rebounding?
So you have to be comfortable with Evan Mobley playing the 5 first and foremost. Like, is he big enough? Can he handle it? He showed flashes of it when Allen was out with that eye injury, and he looked great in that spot. But my thing is just I think Jarrett Allen is just more valuable to Cleveland than he is probably to the rest of the league because he does have a legitimate impact on defense, especially just because he can roam the paint and protect the rim and allow Evan Mobley to do a lot of the stuff Evan Mobley does well on defense, which is just a little bit of everything. And I agree. Like, you need that shooting touch. You need that spacing. I think George Niang adds a little bit of that. I think hopefully Dean Wade finds his shot too, and maybe you can find a little bit of something. But the issue is, you mentioned a wing that can shoot 3-pointers and maybe play passable defense to work in a JV Bickerstaff system. Like, those are premium commodities in basketball. And unfortunately, Jarrett Allen is kind of a part of a dying breed for the big man, where he doesn't shoot threes. He can provide you rebounding, paint protection, and interior points off of his guards passing to him. But, like, other than that, like, you're not going to get a ton for him. And I know I kind of heard G. Bush talking about maybe getting like some first-round picks or some wings or just give you some ammunition to work with. And yeah, that could be out there, but the Cavs aren't going to get like a Donovan Mitchell level return, or they're not going to get what Utah got for Rudy Gobert. And the problem is, like, teams that maybe are interested in him also may not be so quick to part with their wings as well. And to your point about the rebounding thing, it's interesting because it's just the question on what do you expect from Evan Mobley and what is he looking like this summer and heading into next season. Like, he did come back into last season noticeably bigger. Does he come back even bigger and stronger than before? Or does he say, you know what, I'm going to focus more on being a 4 and focus on my shot instead? So it's a lot of questions, and I think I just put a pin in it for now. Like, I know people are probably saying, like, yeah, let's go make an upgrade because the time is now, but you had a pretty successful season, and now you're just kind of having more than 5 viable players in the postseason is probably the first step, and then you kind of see what you have as the season rolls along.
Evan, let's pivot really quickly to Imani Bates.